Welcome everyone to our live demo. My name is Josh Soma. I'm the product manager here at VEMA Trader and tonight's MC. Throughout tonight's demo, please, if you have any questions, don't be shy, drop a message in the Zoom chat and I'll try my best and the team will try our best at the end of the demo during a Q&A session to answer them. Look, enough with the formalities. Let's get straight into it. You've seen videos all over the place. Donny's posted nonstop. Rhys is all over the videos. But before we do that, who are the faces behind it? Here with me tonight, we have a few people. So we have Rich, who's our founder, also a developer. We also have, of course, most people know Donny and Rhys, our technical advisors. But there's actually more than just 4 people behind this product. There's actually a large team of experts with years and years of experience in software and trading, 12 people in fact. So we have Sam, who is our UI UX designer. We have Della, Joey, and Mike, who are our developers. We have an infrastructure guy called John Doe and an operations person, John Citizen, keeping us in line. And the person that's managing the books, Rochelle. And my favorite, number 12, has to be the trading sensei. So you would see him around in our content and he'll be more present in all things VEMA. That's enough about us. How about you tell us, Rich, what is VEMA and why we created it?
Yeah, perfect. Thank you very much for the intro, Joshua. Hello and welcome everyone. My name is Richard Morwood and I'm super excited to be here today as the founder of VEMA Trader. I've been working on VEMA, what would turn into VEMA, since actually back in 2017 to address my own trading. You see, I'd be in meetings and my trading view alerts would go off and I couldn't action them. And it's not like you can quite interrupt a meeting with, sorry, everyone, can we just pause this meeting for a sec? I've got to go manage my trade. It's generally not something you can really get away with. And at the time in my professional career, I was the leader of a research and development team. And we would always be asking what if about our products? What if we could simplify this process? What if we could automate this really manual and cumbersome part? And one evening while I was placing a trade and I was manually writing the data into my trade journal, I made a typo and oh crap, that would have been a costly one. So I started thinking, what if I could auto write this journal's figures for each trade? It would save on me making any typos, which then led to, well, what if I could read the data right from my chart, which then led to, well, what if I could automate catching the breakout? And I know the trend line coordinates, which then led to eventually, well, what if I could run the entire whole trade plan end to end directly from the chart and do all the journaling in one single system? And that's when I started coming up with the idea for what would eventually turn into what is now VEMA Trader, a trading platform designed to help retail traders with sticking to their trade plan, take away the math for risk management and position sizing, journal in a way that the data is already ready for really easy analysis and ultimately just save you so much time. Now it all comes together to help you find your trading edge. So the trading process for a technical analysis trader, it starts with you being able to visualize your whole setup. Your drawing, your support resistance, your market structure, your trend lines. You may be using an indicator like the RSI or EMA. Now, most likely you're using TradingView for this. And by the end of it, you've come up with a plan. You know what you're going to do. You know when you're going to enter the market. You know when you're going to exit the market. And so now you've got yourself an action plan. So the good news is VEMA is built on top of TradingView. So if you're familiar with using TradingView, you'll feel right at home using VEMA. So then once your signal comes, you get the alert. Maybe it's you've got to close above resistance or you've got to bounce off support. It's time to execute that plan. This part can be quite stressful because there's money involved. And if you make a mistake, then bugger, it can be quite costly. So with VEMA, you've already told it the plan. It takes action when your signal comes in. It checks the trade meets your minimum risk to reward, auto calculates the position size based on the risk amount of your account you're willing to put in, sets the take profit and the stop loss targets, then it enters the position. And finally, it sends you an alert. When it's done, it automates just basically all of that troublesome stuff away. All right, so now the trade's been placed. You can relax now, great. But the exchange doesn't send you alerts when you take profit or your stop loss targets are reached. That's kind of always frustrated me a little bit. And so it doesn't clean up your orders and it, yeah, so you've got to be setting your alerts in TradingView telling you to go take action. So I remember one night I was getting an alert while I was on a date with my wife and she would not have been very happy if I'd started just, hang on, darling, can I just manage my trade here for a second? Now on that trade, price, hit my take profit target, but then because I couldn't manage it, it actually ended up hitting a sell wall and falling back down. And so I ended up hitting my stop loss on that one. Bugger. But hey, it was a lovely day. I really enjoyed that one. Anyway, so VEMA solves this whole process because it's automating the monitoring of your trade. It's monitoring your position for you. It exits your trade when your target's been reached, cleans up any orders on the exchange, and then it sends you an alert when the whole thing's done. I mean, just, oh man, first time that happened, which is nice. All right, so you've been trading for a few weeks now. You've got all your trading data in this trading journal, and it's time to analyze it all. Now, you're probably using Excel for this. I've been using Excel basically my entire career, and it's still a struggle when I try to look at my data from a different perspective. And you've got to shift your cells around, play with the formulas. Oh, selected the wrong data. Man, that's just a pain in the bum. Well, VEMA has got access to your trading history because you've been doing all your trades through it, and it's automatically been tagging with a whole bunch of different things, as you'll see later on, and you can use those tags to break down your performance. So it's already tagged all the data on your positions, and then you can go to the Analyze screen where it makes it incredibly easy to dig deep into your trading history. It surfaces and helps you find where you're going well, and it helps you find out where you're going wrong and what you need to be changing. And that's why I decided to build VEMA. I wanted to visualize my trade plan on the chart. I wanted to truly step away from it, just set and forget, and then be alerted. Oh, cool, it worked. Or bugger, it didn't, but hey, my risk was okay. So I love trading, but I also want my time back. So I saw that I could automate data collection as much as possible. I wanted a system that kept my data, that kept my discipline on track, that kept me sticking to my trade plan. And I saw how it could all be linked together in a single tool and still have you, the trader, in full control of the end-to-end process. Now, after I'd built the initial prototype, I demoed it to a few people, and the feedback was just incredible. Like, holy crap, people are loving this thing. And so 2 of those demos ended up being to 2 people who would eventually join the team as technical advisors, Donny and Rhys. Now, I remember showing to them, and they were immediately enthusiastic about the potential, and they started throwing idea after idea after idea. Then they joined the team and just started telling the team, this is cool, guys. This is better than you think it is. And so then the team started to get more excitement. It's just been really, really awesome working with everybody. So enough from me. You've kind of heard what the little bit of the background there was. You've come to see VEMA in action, and that's what we're really excited to be here to do tonight. So, hey, Donny, do you want to give everyone a run through on how to set up a trade plan, mate?
Sure can, man. Thanks a lot, Rich. So I'm going to share my screen. I've already done some analysis on this, just really basic setup, just to give you guys a visual demo. So I'm going to run through the visualize and execute side of tonight, but I also want to talk about a few really cool things that I'm really excited about, that I really like about VEMA. One of the first things that you'll notice is if you're used to trading on exchanges, you'll probably never really use the charting software on exchanges because you generally got a very small area and a lack of tools. And it's generally a bit slow and clunky. So most people would use TradingView and then duck between their exchange to sort of place an order. One thing I love about VEMA is the integration with TradingView, and you actually get full screen real estate. So you can actually sit here and do all your analysis in the one spot and then jump straight into your trades without having to jump between different software. So that is something I really love. When we're ready to place a trade, we just click this button and our, our trading sort of panel comes out the side here. Now, as you can see what I'm looking at, this is just some real basic analysis. I'm looking at a resistance level here, and we've been pushing up in a trend. So we might be squeezing price a little bit here, and I'm expecting it to maybe break above this line and head towards this supply block. So that's kind of the trade setup that I'm looking at on my analysis. Just sort of draw a line just to sort of put that into perspective. Something like that is kind of what I'm expecting to play out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a trigger. Now, traditionally, this is where you would probably type in a price or use buy stops. I don't know if anyone here used buy stops before, but sometimes you might find, say, a level of resistance and use a buy stop to get in if it spikes above. But the problem with that, and this is one of the problems that VEMA solves, is quite often you'll get pulled into a trade like that, and then the price will wick back down, and sometimes it can go the other way and stop you out because you never really got that confirmation to say, hey, this is actually a bullish move above resistance. So we can fix that. So when we go to add trade, we're looking at the alpha trigger. All right. And our strategy we're going to use is cross. So we've got bounce and cross, and we're even working on some more in-depth strategies that I think Richard's going to go over a little bit later. So we've got cross strategy here, which is basically if we cross this alpha trend line, we're going to get into a trade. And we're obviously going to go long. And now we're going to add some conditions. And these are just like the rules of your trade plan. We've got a couple that we've got here now, and we're going to be adding even more in not too long. I'm not going to go too much in depth with the expiry date feature, but sometimes you might like to put an expiry date on this setup to basically say, hey, if this doesn't play out by this date, can it? I don't want to sit in this trade anymore because it needs to play out fast or not at all. So you can add an expiry date. But one feature that's really handy for breakouts or cross strategies is to operate on candle close. So VEMA is actually going to monitor this trade if it breaks above alpha, but it's not actually going to enter the trade until it actually confirms by closing above the trend line. Once it's closed above that trend line or this resistance line, then we know it's actually broken above and it may continue to go. So it's sort of adding that rule from your trade plan, but automating it in a way that VEMA can control that for you. So that's our setup. That's our basic trigger system on how we're going to get into a trade. And this is another point that I really love about VEMA, and where I think VEMA really shines for a lot of people, is when we come to the risk management side. So again, I'm going to keep this really basic. We've got a couple of different setups here that we can use for our stop loss strategy, and we can choose either percentage or value depending on what you want to do. In this case, I'm going to choose value, and I'm just going to type in the price that I've got here based on this setup, which is $76.16. And our take profit, we're going to use this value here of $92.53. Now, I don't know if you guys noticed it here, but it's already worked out what our position size and our leverage is going to be on this trade. It automatically works this out. There's no need to do any math and work out your risk management and use position sizing calculators or anything like that. It automatically is done for you based on your risk management strategy. And it even works out your leverage to avoid liquidation. So you can maximize your leverage without running the risks of liquidation. If we go up here, it's super easy to change the amount of risk. Most people will sort of sit on that 1% of account risk. Some people might be confident and change that up to say 2, for example. And you'll notice that that's actually changed our position size. It hasn't really changed our leverage much, but it has changed our position size. You'll see here if I change my stop loss percentage, that is also going to change our position size and leverage. So everything will self-adjust automatically for you. You don't have to work any of this out. Now, another really cool condition, which is often part of someone's trade plan, is the minimum risk to reward feature. So I mentioned before that we're expecting this breakout of this alpha trade or this alpha trend line to close above. But what happens if the candle closes right up here? And if VEMA goes to enter this trade right up here, and we've still got our stop loss and take profit inputs in there, this trade is going to turn into a 1.36 to 1. And most of you guys who are traders, guys and girls here who are traders, would probably know that that's not a high quality trade to take. So you wouldn't want to take it. So we can actually set a threshold here and say something like, hey, you know what? I'm happy to take a 2 to 1 trade, but anything less than that, I'm not interested in. So basically what VEMA is going to do now, if we bring this down to about 2 to 1, somewhere around there, basically VEMA is going to monitor this trade. If it breaks above alpha and closes at least below this level, it's going to enter the trade. If it's less than 2 to 1, it's not interested, and it won't allow you to get into a poor quality trade. So this is a super handy feature. I absolutely love this. It was one of my pain points with trading breakout strategies. I'll be honest, I'm not that good at trading breakout strategies. It's just never really been my strong point. But this sort of feature stops me from getting into pretty poor quality trades. So that's covering the risk management side. I love it. It just does everything so nice and clean and simple for you. Gives you control, automation, all that. Tells you what you're expected to lose and what you're expected to win if it plays out as well. All right, so I'm going to close that. Another point, which is where VEMA really shines, is the journaling system. I'm pretty sure I speak for all traders here when I say that journaling is a massive pain point. We all know that we've got to do it. Data collection is super important, but it is a monotonous task that drives most people nuts. And let's face it, most people build these complex spreadsheets and they start filling in the data and they think it's amazing. Yeah, you get a week into it and you forget to update a couple. You got to go back and find some data. A month later, you just can't be bothered because it's just too much effort. So we make that really easy by incorporating the journal system and the data collection into VEMA. It's all part of the process. So we can leave notes here and say something like expecting a breakout or squeeze, something like that. Just leave some personal notes there for you to come back to later if you wish. And then also we're going to add some tags. Now, VEMA has already tagged a bunch of stuff for us just by our selections on our setup, but we can add our own tags as well. So this type of trade obviously is a breakout. Rhys is going to go over this and how this is really important a little bit later on. So we can add a breakout trade here. Something else I might want to add is a squeeze, because it's a squeeze type of trade. So I'm going to type in squeeze. We don't have a tag for this already, so we can create our own. So you can add as many tags as you want. You can create them, and they're all stored in here, so you can find and sift through a lot more data. The next thing we're going to do is change our confidence. So how confident do I feel about this trade? I'm pretty confident about it. It looks pretty good. This is a type of trade I always take. So I'm going to put that at about a 6. And then what's my mood? Well, tonight I'm super happy to show you guys this. This is something that I'm really proud of. I love this thing. So I'm really happy to share it with you guys. So I'm done. That's it. I'm going to press create. That trade's now created. Now we can take this one step further, and I can actually add another trigger like this. Right. And now you can see we've got another trend here called Bravo. Now I can go and add another trade, select the Bravo trigger, and I'm going to do another cross, but this time I'm going to go short. So basically, if we fail to break above alpha and instead we actually break below Bravo, I can set up a trade to now short this position down using the same type of strategy and conditions. We can even set another strategy that basically says that if we reject off alpha, so I'll just cancel this one for a sec, I can add another trade and go to alpha trigger. And now I can set a bounce strategy, which basically means if we don't break above alpha, but we actually headbutt it and reject, I can enter a short position on the way down. And you can create as many of these as you want. So you can be trading the one chart in 4 or 5 different types of strategies, depending on the price action that actually happens. So you can get pretty creative there. I'm just going to keep this example really simple. So we're good to go, right? So we're going to press save, confirm. And this now goes to the monitoring state. Oh, unable to save input. Sorry. Let me go back. I must have done something wrong with my, sorry. There we go. Don't know what happened there. So now we're going to go to our dashboard. We've inputted that trade. That trade is set up here now. And you can see this is our dashboard. This just gives you a really quick visual overview of your current P&L. And we've got a date picker here, so you can flick between weeks, months, and the last 3 months. So this is just a quick overview of your sort of daily performance. And then we're going to go down and we're actually going to have a look at our monitoring panel, which is all of our current trades, or current trades that are open, closed, monitoring. Basically, they're ready for review. So I'm just going to quickly click this for a second. So we can see here, we've got a few trades here that have closed, a couple here that have closed in profit, a couple that have closed as a loss. And this one is currently open. So this is something else I really love about VEMA, is logging into VEMA in the morning, going to my monitoring page and just having a quick visual look and seeing all these pills here, or seeing our progress bar. And you can get a really good idea of how well your current trades are going and whether or not you need to take action. So guys, that is a really quick overview of the visualize and execute side of things. I'm going to pass it over to Rhys now. Rhys, let's have a look at the monitoring stage.
Yeah, no worries. What's going on, guys? And thank you, Donny. So let's just say that I'd made a trade setup similar to what Donny had before, but I'd been looking at it a few days ago and had been looking at this resistance level instead. Well, now I can see prices sort of started to form a higher low. And so I might be thinking, all right, I'm never going to get the retest that I was looking for. So I want to get into this position now. I want to be in this trade because I still think it's going to play out. So all I have to do is come into the monitoring screen, hit enter position, and then we'll enter that for me. Then I can just refresh, and you'll see that my entry, my take profit, my stop loss will all pop up on the screen straight away. So you can see I'm now in this position open. So VEMA's put me in, that's beautiful. And so from this screen, there's a lot of things we can do. So say I look at my targets and I go, you know what, I've actually been way too ambitious, right? Price is probably going to get to about here and reject. I can just drag my stop, my take profit down, exactly the same as you can on some exchanges, the best exchanges in my opinion. And not only can you drag it, we also tell you the new risk to reward. So before I was targeting a 2.75 to 1, and now I'm looking at a 1.89 to 1 trade. So I'm pretty happy with that. I'm going to confirm that. Similarly, I can drag my stop loss, but there's a caveat here. If I drag my stop loss down, it's not going to let me do it. And there's two reasons for that. One, it's a pretty bad habit, right? A lot of people will drag their stops down when price starts going against them, and they'll go, I'll just give myself a bit more room, and then it'll come against them. I'll give myself a bit more room. Like, this is going to turn around eventually. And they end up taking a way bigger loss than what they were actually prepared to take. And the other reason is liquidation. So because we calculate your leverage, we make it clear of liquidation. We make sure that your liquidation price is lower than your stop loss for longs and higher than your stop loss for shorts. But if you drag your stop loss down and put it on the other side of your liquidation price, and we allow you to do it, you're going to get liquidated before your stop loss gets hit. And again, it's going to lead to a bigger loss than what you were actually prepared to take. So we've put that in as a safety precaution. One, it's just a good trading habit to not move your stop loss further into the red. And two, it stops you getting liquidated. You can still move it closer to your entry if you want. I'm going to leave mine right where it is for now. So it's really, really easy to manage your trades on VEMA. One of the features that I really love is the ability to change the chart as you're going. So let's say that I was looking at this and I went, actually, when I set this up, I missed this resistance level. So I'm going to put that in. Let's say that I wanted to put fibs on as well. I can add them and go, all right, beautiful. That all lines up nicely. And then all I have to do to save that is come here and add a comment. So I'll say manually entered due to higher low forming. Watch resistance. Resistance. And then save that. And you'll see VEMA has screenshots. So I can click this first screenshot and it takes me straight to the chart as it was looking at when I first created this strategy. So like what you just saw Donny do with the setup. And then now I can come to my new one. I can see the notes I took as I was monitoring the trade, and I can hit the screenshot and see the updated screenshot. I've got my resistance. I've got my fibs in there now. So this is really, really useful for managing your trades, right? I love using this with moving my stop loss. Every time I move my stop loss up, I add a new comment and I can see, okay, I moved my stop loss because there was new structure, or I did this because of that. So feature that I really love, it just sort of allows you to play through a trade from start to finish when the trade's played out. So it's really, really useful for monitoring and managing your trades. The beauty of that is at the end, when you come to analyze them, which is where the real magic happens, in my opinion, you can go through and see what you did before. So in our analyze screen, we have an equity curve. So you can see exactly how you're performing over time. You can see that I've been doing quite well off this account. We have a trade history, which just has all of your trades. So I've got 130 on this account. I can go into them, see like that log that I was just looking at before. And then we have trading performance. And this, to me, is the real key to the analyze screen. So like Donny and Rhys said before, I've dabbled with Google Sheets a lot, which is a version of Excel that's free. And I've made really complicated trade plans, really complicated journals, filled out like 2 columns. I just never bother. And I don't know how to actually tell Sheets to analyze trades for me. But we made that really, really easy with VEMA. So you can see here, I've got this analysis card that's all my trades. So I'm up 14.8% over the entire course of this account. I've got a win rate of 41%. I know my average risk to reward. I've taken 146 trades and my frequency is about 45 trades a month. If I want to start really dialing into my data, so let's say that I want to see, do I do better at longs or shorts? Then I can come here, add an analysis name for longs, add the long tag, and VEMA will automatically calculate that for me and show me that I suck at going long, right? I've lost 11.18% over 71 trades. That's not good. How do I go at shorts? Well, let's find out. So we just include the short tag. And we can see that I've made basically 26%. So straight away, I can look at this and go, okay, I am way better at shorting than I'm at longing. Personally, if I'm losing 12% over 71 trades, I'm wasting a ton of time. 71 trades takes a while to set up and I've lost 11%. I'm just going to stop taking longs. Easy. Put that in my trade plan. No longs, no longs, no longs. So if I do that, and then I think, all right, I want to refine my shorting trade plan. How else can I analyze this? How can I dive deeper? So one thing that I always like is Bitcoin versus how I perform on alts. So again, I can just include the tag XBT USD. So that will only include trades that I took on the XBT USD symbol, which is the only one I've used. I haven't used any of the quarterly contracts on BitMEX on this account. That now tells me how I go at shorting Bitcoin. So I've made 4%. Not bad, not fantastic. If I change this one to, let's call this short alts, and I can exclude XBT USD. So by doing that, VEMA looks at every trade that I've taken that's a short, except the ones that I took on XBT USD. So all that's left over is the alts. So it's a really easy way to see my alt trades. And I can see, oh, hang on, sorry, I'm still on long, 2 secs. let me change that. I can see straight away I've made 21% over the course of me shorting alts. So I can immediately go, all right, I am way better at shorting alts than I am at shorting Bitcoin, and I'm way better at shorting in general than I am at longing. So what I would do to complete the loop is I would then take what I've figured out in this analysis section, go back and change my trade plan. I would eliminate longs from my trade plan. I might eliminate shorting Bitcoin just because to take 33 trades to make 4%, it might not be worth my time. That's something that you can toss up. But this to me is where the Analyze screen really shines, right? It's really, really powerful. And the best part is we're not done yet. This is still being improved. So the devs currently are implementing a new addition that is going to allow you to click on the card, and then it brings up all the trades that you've taken that fit that card, so fit that strategy. You can then go through and look for patterns of your own accord. So within that one strategy, so let's say for me it was that short alt, I can then try and really define that, and maybe I'll find, you know, I'm better at shorting Ripple than anything else. I'm making all my money on Ripple and losing on other alts. So really, really cool feature I'm really excited about. And that's it. That closes the loop. And then, you know, you'll change your trade plan and you get straight back into charting a new one and visualizing it up. So Rich, do you want to take it from here?
Thank you very much, Rhys and Donny, for the run through. Personal shout out, guys. I've been working on this thing for a couple of years now, and I'm seeing the chat here and I'm just absolutely loving it. Thank you so much for all the comments. This is just incredible. Can't wipe the smile off my face. All right, so as you've seen there, you've heard that we're called VEMA Trader, and the reason for the name VEMA Trader is because it helps you, the whole system helps you visualize your trade plan, execute the trade plan, monitor the full thing end to end, analyze how a bunch of your trades have been going over time, which then lets you improve your performance to visualize better, execute better, monitor better, analyze, oh, am I getting better at this one? Awesome, I am, or no, I'm not. What am I going to do? You're just getting into this VEMA loop, which is just awesome. Don't swear out loud, boy. All right. So so in my absolutely unbiased opinion, VEMA Trader is really, really incredible. But not just is it me saying that, it's also the people who are actually in the beta. Here's some of the feedback we've been getting from the people there. The beta testers have been wonderful. Thank you so much for all the time and effort you've put in there, boys. It's been incredible. Yeah. Thank you so much for all the bugs you found and helping us make it into a better product. And I'm super, super happy that you've been getting value out of product too. That's just fantastic. All right, so you probably hang on. So next, so we've been working a few questions in the chat there. One of them was, what exchanges do you work with? At the moment, it is BitMEX. We've gotten that nailed down really, really well. And just today, we deployed to our test site FTX. And so we are looking for beta testers to join us to really help us hammer down on that FTX exchange, because that's really the most important thing there, is making sure we're speaking to the exchange correctly. If we stuff that up, then hey, that's really not great. And so I'd really, really love it if anyone wants to volunteer for this, please go over to our Facebook page. I think the post should be up there now. Like the post, follow us if you haven't already, and comment on there why you want to be a beta tester. This will get you early access to VEMA Trader, I'm sure a swag bag, and some other cool stuff that we've got in the works as well. Swag bag. Swag bag. Oh, fantastic. Throwing me off the scent there, boy. So by now, when's this going to be releasing? Wow, this is just, we've been pumping this one for so long now. It is going to be coming out in February 2022. Sorry, 1 second there. Gareth Dixon, don't have Facebook. What about Twitter? I believe we will have this up on Twitter as well. Simon, if you could just give us a shout out for that one.
It is on all platforms.
Perfect, thank you. Okay, so release date, we're aiming for February 2022. That's assuming all the stars come into alignment. There's still much to go, but if everything goes according to how we've got the plan, and so far it's looking like it really is, February 15th. I remember we were talking about actually doing it on February 14th, and then we thought, hang on, my wife was there as the treasury and said, don't you go doing that to me. I know you're going to be busy after launch, so don't you steal my Valentine's Day. Anyway, and so now the next thing, the price. So we'll be launching at $99 per month for the Pro plan, or $999. So basically 10 months, get 2 months free. But that's just that's the official pricing. For the introductory pricing, for everyone who comes on now, gets involved now, we'll be launching that one for everyone on the wait list for $85 per month, or $850 per year. Now that's going to be a lifetime value there. So if you continue to stay on that price, as we continue to load code more and more and bump out more and more features, add more value, and the price will go up, you will get to stay on this price forever. As a bottom of our heart, thank you so much for believing in us and being along for the journey. So yeah, cool. $85 per month or $850, but you've got to be on the wait list to get that one. So please go ahead. There's a QR code here, or go to vematrader.com and there's the wait list basically on the homepage right there in front of your face. So, hey, well, what about those extra features we're going to be adding in future? So we've got, I mean, wow, basically 3 to 4 years worth of roadmap here of stuff to do.
So much.
So much. It's actually exciting and scary at the same time. Now, this is by no means in any order of exactly what we're going to do it, but just here's a few ideas what we're going to be doing. And also what we really want to hear from is yourselves. What is it that you want? What is going to make this the best trading platform for yourselves? Get in touch, let us know, because we're very much so customer focused, and we're going to be driven by what are our traders wanting, what do they want? And so we've got multiple take profit targets coming in, trailing stop loss. We'll have more crypto exchanges, more stock exchanges, Forex exchanges. Actually, we just realized today on FTX, hey, fantastic. We've actually got a few stocks and Forex and gold on there, which was pretty cool. You saw that we're using trend lines for our entries, for our triggers at the moment. We're going to be adding parallel channels into there as well. More strategies. So you saw that we've got the bouncer and the crosser. We'll have a break and retest strategy. You can actually do that now, but it's a bit strange to do. So we're going to improve the crap out of that, make it its own proper feature. Auto fibs, which is just fantastic. I've got written the test code for that, and it's just fantastic. Oh, I'm so excited. We'll also be, we'll also have all the screenshots that you get in the chats, in the comments log, will be in the email alerts that get sent to you. So you get an alert that says, hey, it's entered your trade, and you go, oh, I don't want to see why, or hey, how come my risk reward wasn't good enough? What are you talking about? Show me that, and it'll just be there in your email to tell you here's exactly the chart of what's happened there. More conditions, give it more of a quant style trading on the entry conditions. So go for a bounce off support, but only bounce off support if that RSI is actually, let's say, lower than 50, or sorry, that's probably a bit big, lower than 20 or something like that. Make sure you've got the EMA with MACD, as many different quant style things as we can slap into there. We will absolutely be creating a referral program so that you can go ahead, hey, I'm on the cheap pricing, that's pretty cool, but tell more people about it, get it in, and we will just go ahead and be able to get you some free VEMA for signing up a bunch of other people. And that's just the piece of it. That's as much as we could fit on the screen. Oh man, this is just freaking exciting, eh? Anyway, so at that point, I'd love to say thank you very much to everyone for coming here. What a cool turnout. I'm still overwhelmed by all the chat comments. Thank you very much. I'm going to shut up now. I'm going to pass it back over to Mr. Sommer to take us through a Q&A, man. Over to you.
Thank you for the great demo, guys. That was awesome. We're extremely pumped. A lot of feature requests coming in. I think Della and Mike are going to have white hairs by the end of that. But it's some great news. A lot of comments coming through the chat around the vematrader.com website. Currently not loading. Apologies about that. Just leave a comment in the chat, and we'll get back to you and let you know when that's back up. But I noticed a whole bunch of comments and questions coming in. I've recorded them all. I'm going to start from the top and then go from there. So Alberto, you mentioned Binance integration. How you going, Alberto? Good to see you. Already thinking about it? Yes, we are. It is probably one of the first exchanges we integrate after the two we currently got. Alberto also mentioned, when can we start copying a successful trader and give them a commission? Rich, do you want to talk about that?
Oh yeah, so that's something that we've got, we've planned around there, the ability to actually share your trade plan. Like, hey, Donny has gone ahead and done this amazing trade plan. I think it's fantastic. Now, I might look at his trade plan and say, look, I think that's really cool, but Donny's risk is just like way too tight, man. I'm not cool with that one. He's going for like a 5-to-1. I'm more comfortable if I was to move that stop loss down. So then taking his idea, not blindly following that, I'm kind of against, but this idea of seeing what other people are up to and being able to, air quotes, clone the trade plan, like actually I accept the risk that this trade is going to do. I acknowledge it, and I'm going to take it and adjust it to make it my own, adjust my own parameter. Whoa, Donny's putting 3% of his account on that one. That's a bit too risky for me. I'm going to take that down to 1% because I'm just not as cool with as the idea with that. Yeah, so there's that idea in the works. In terms of when the roadmap for that one, that's going to be a while away. We've got a lot of other things to go, but that's a really good question. I like that one. Thank you.
So the answer there, Whispers, Yep. He said, can I export the raw data to do my own analysis? You want to take that one, Rich, as well?
Yeah, sure. So absolutely, man. I'm a big believer. Your data is your data. I believe in that very heavily. So we will be, if it's not there at launch, but you do want it and we haven't got that, then you would always be able to contact support and say, hey, I want to get this. And we would give you a dump into a CSV file. But the idea is most definitely to put that on the website at some point so that as traders, you can go, great, give me that. I'm done. It's yours.
Great. Apologies for not saying this name right. Urzay, maybe. Once this is released, will there be a lesson or two with step-by-step instructions? Rhys, do you want to answer that one?
Yeah, no worries. And I've seen you asked again about like tutorials. We are very onto it. I'm about to get stuck into tutorials on basically everything. So any little feature, like, you saw Donny demonstrate the cross tonight. There'll be a tutorial on that. There'll be tutorials on the entirety of them, and we'll do some sort of interactive sessions to help you guys with any problems you're having. So absolutely, there'll be a lot of things to help walk you through it.
Cool. David Lee, cheeky question. Does this mean I can stop paying for TradingView? Donny, do you want to answer that one?
Look, short answer is technically yes, right? But look, there's features that TradingView have that they don't allow us to use, like with our integration. There is a lot more features that we're working on to be able to sort of cover a lot of those bases. Won't go into too much detail, but look, there's always going to be things that TradingView can do that we can't because it is quite an elaborate system in itself. But if you, like, the way I see it is if you're not using a lot of those features, then yeah, you don't need it. We cover it.
Yeah. Exciting stuff. And he also mentioned, David, I imagine the automation will also help mitigate our own psychology getting in the way. Donny, you've been placing a lot of trades lately on VEMA Trader. Has it gone? Has it helped mitigate that?
Yeah, look, I've always been a pretty disciplined trader for a long time, so that wasn't really a massive pain point for me. But I would say the discipline in being active as an active trader, being a full-time trader, you're kind of required to be in front of the computer a bit, at least on a daily basis to set up trades and whatnot. And VEMA has given me the ability to really step back from that. I can go days without even logging in now because depending on the criteria and how long I think trades are going to play out, but I can set up trades in the morning that I think might take a few days to play out. And then I basically don't look at the charts for a couple of days. And then when I do, I log into VEMA and I look at my dashboard and go, oh, that one's closed. This one's closed. That one's still going. And then I just check them out and see if I need to make an adjustment or, see how trades have gone, whether they were good or bad. Very, very relaxed. So I think it's helped me a lot there. So if you are struggling with the emotional sort of psychological side of things when it comes to being in a position and going, oh, should I do this? Should I do that? It definitely helps because you can automate that process and get on with your day. It stops you from like wanting to look at it and fiddle with it. You just sort of set and forget. But it's not like some auto bot that just trades some fancy algorithm. It's actually trading your trade plan that you've programmed into it. And it's quite quick and easy. I reckon I spend about half an hour on the charts in the morning, if that, set up half a dozen trades, check it the next morning. That's it, like that. So my as a full-time trader, I spend about half an hour a day working, which sounds really bad.
Josh Barnes early on mentioned what exchanges is VEMA compatible with. I think we ended up discussing that. It's FTX and BitMEX, but all the exchanges will pretty much follow after that. Luke, does it have an entry on retest feature? Do you want to answer that, Rich?
Yeah, sure thing. So you can kind of do a break and retest feature strategy using the bounce at the moment. You can kind of like go, well, I'll put a bounce as a long if it goes. It's a bit of a funky one, but you can. Donny's called it the reclaimer strategy. So I'll pass to him after in a second. He can run you through how that works. But really, we are introducing a proper bounce break and retest, where when we introduce a parallel channel, if you've got your trend line and a channel, I'm assuming you can see my video, then price would have to come above the channel and then have to close back inside the channel. There's your break and there's your retest, there's your entry. And if it was to go up and too far, hey, you should have been a crosser. And if it bounces, it comes back underneath the trend line. Well, that actually didn't close in the channel, so therefore we're not going to do it. We're not going to take the action. Yeah, Donny, you want to talk about the reclaimer strategy for a second?
Yeah, look, the reclaimer actually was an accident. I was, just to be completely transparent, I was actually using the bouncer strategy, and the way I'd set up the distance to activate and the distance to execute, I set it up in a pretty funky way. And when I came back to check this trade that played out correctly, I'm like, oh, that's interesting. So I did that and that because I did. And then I'm like, okay, this is a strategy. Basically, if we can identify a trend and we break it temporarily, but price comes back up and reclaims that level of support or whatever, it actually triggers the entry. So it's actually quite a handy strategy. Like me and Rhys have sat there for a while talking about different, all these different strategies and stuff, but and we are definitely going to build some more strategies there that are easy to click. But realistically, between bounce and cross, when you start adding in conditions, you can more or less build any strategy you can think of. And that's kind of what we wanted to do. We don't want to have so many automatic strategies. It's more a case of like, you can build a combination of strategies based on the conditions and come up with a really advanced, complex strategy that can trade the most, craziest trade plan you can think of, literally like a robot. So yeah, there's a lot of options. And as we add more features, like Richard mentioned before on our roadmap, I'm really excited to take the quantitative approach and start having things like indicators in there, like RSI and CCI and even EMAs, like basically seeing a trade set up, taking indicators out of the picture and having your charts drawn up and saying, yeah, I want to buy on this retest of this trend line. However, I also want to take a look at the EMA and make sure that the fast EMA is below the slow EMA, and you can program whatever speeds those EMAs are. Maybe it's 9 and 21. So as long as the 9 EMA is above the 21 EMA and we've bounced on that trend line, enter. But if we bounce on that trend line and the EMAs are all up to shit, it's not going to enter. So yeah, you can get really funky with strategies.
A lot of strategies to come.
Yeah.
Very exciting stuff. Look, if you haven't seen it in the chat, the website is back up. So get on that wait list as we speak. Awesome.
Can we get a picture with like Donny with the champagne blowing up with the break the internet picture? Maybe Rhys would do that better.
Shirtless, I think.
Yeah, shirtless.
Yeah, shirtless and that mo.
Yeah, thanks for wearing a shirt tonight, Rhys.
Rare exception.
Awesome. Michael said, is the journal mandatory so it forces you to add comments? I can answer that one. Oh, actually, let's pass it over to Della, one of our developers. He could answer that one.
We'll hang on. We'll have to
mute him.
He should be able to, yeah.
So can you repeat the question, Summer?
Yeah, sure. So yeah, so I did message him prior. Is the journal mandatory so it forces you to add a comment?
Oh yeah, no. The journal is not mandatory, but it is strongly encouraged. The journaling is important, and that's what VEMA is about, right? We want to encourage good trading habits, so it's not mandatory. We've discussed things about having options where you can set it yourself to make it mandatory for yourself, but I don't think VEMA will universally sort of force you to journal. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, that's great. Thank you. Sweet. So Grant mentioned, is this all integrated from TradingView to the exchange you choose to chart? Rich, do you want to answer that one?
Yeah, sure thing. So it's actually not integrated with your TradingView subscription. The TradingView don't have the ability to do that, unfortunately. If they do, then they'll be cool. But what they do offer is an SDK, which is, hey, here is a slightly reduced version of TradingView. You can take the code and deploy it onto your own website. So we've got the TradingView SDK running our one, and that's how we've got VEMA working over the top of, or I wouldn't even, working with the TradingView SDK and our website. So yeah, you can't actually sync it with your own TradingView account. Yeah.
Thanks, Rich. We got so many questions. This is great.
Can I take one just quickly? Sorry, because this one's pretty important. Sorry, Soma. Rafael Lamara has just asked, how secure is it? Will there be any holes that any slippery gypsies can slide in and access my bag? So no, is it secure? Absolutely, yes. Is there? So I won't go fully into the security for that, but we're making sure we're going through a penetration testing at the moment to make sure that we are secure, which we're pretty confident we are. But hey, if they find anything, then we're going to fix those before launch. Now, even let's say that someone did get in and get access to our database. Holy crap, nightmare scenario for us. Your API keys are stored with a different encryption key than they're actually stored in the database. So if they steal our database, they're not going to get your API keys. And then even with the API key that you give us, they actually can't steal your money from your exchange, because we check with the exchange when you add it in, did you disable the ability for withdrawing? And if you didn't disable withdrawing, we're going to reject your API key from even being added in. I hope that answers that one. I just think that's a pretty important question to answer. Soma, back to you. Sorry for stealing it.
Totally agree. No stress. Grant mentioned, would there be an app or only desktop? At the moment, it's website only. In the future, within a good year or two, there will be potentially an app or similar desktop app in some sorts potentially.
Probably worth calling out on that one as well, that it is actually for now just for the launch desktop and iPad-ish, but it's not a mobile friendly site at the moment for launch. In case you weren't going to say that.
Yep, spot on. And then he also mentioned, Grant, if we sign up for monthly at the start, then can we switch yearly? Of course you can. Yeah. So sign up
keep that pricing, man. Absolutely.
Yeah, of course. Got so many questions. Alberto mentioned, is trailing stop loss available? Rhys, do you want to talk about that one?
Yeah, so it's not currently available, right? We actually had it implemented, and then we took it out. I think there was a couple of little issues, nothing huge, but it wasn't getting much use was the other thing. So it's one of the things that's in the list for immediately post-launch. So it should be there not long after launch, but it won't be there at launch. I'm fairly sure is the case. If that's wrong, someone can correct me, but yeah. So
I think it was more of just a visual issue, wasn't it? It was displaying the risk to reward incorrectly, but it was still functioning.
That's right. Yeah. So it functioned exactly as it should, but it was the UI was sort of mucking around a little bit with it.
Basically, if you didn't put in a take profit and you're just running with a trailing stop, it wouldn't know what your risk to reward is and just go, don't know. So, but it still worked.
Yeah. Thanks, Alberto, for that question. We had Satoshi, sorry, about if I pronounced that wrong, but Della, the question is, can you elaborate on the integration with TradingView? I think that'd be a good question for you, briefly.
Yeah, well, one of our goals is we do, this kind of sounds bad, we rely on TradingView a lot, right? But essentially we want to be able to do everything they do. So yeah, we would love it if you kind of didn't need to have a TradingView subscription, right? Everyone uses TradingView for a reason. It's got many great features. We've got the ones that, are the most important. And then, yeah, we totally plan on bringing as much over as we can, so you can do everything you can do in TradingView. Hopefully, eventually you'll be able to do in VEMA. So that is the goal for sure.
Great answer. Dylan mentioned, are you guys hiring? Rich, do you want to answer that one? That's a good question.
Oh man, I wish we had the cash to hire. Then we should definitely get talking.
Awesome. So Clinton, do we need Trading View as well to use VEMA I can answer that one. You don't. You just need to use VEMA and we'll integrate a lot of those Trading View features as time progresses. Yeah. Another question is from Aaron. Good question. So VEMA would be tax deductible as well, question mark. And it looks like it will make tax time a much easier when having to go all to one place. Does it do financial yearly reports? That's a great question.
Oh,
Aaron.
that'd be an awesome feature.
Yeah. Donny, you want to answer it?
Look, I can say a little bit. So this was very, very high on my priority list. As a full-time trader who's been trading for pretty actively for about 5 years, tax time is something that we all absolutely dread. Especially if you're trading on multiple exchanges, it is a nightmare. And more recently, I've seen as more and more people get into trading and as I started coaching and sort of see a lot of people come through, and I realize how much of a pain point it is for other people as well, using a lot of different software, and then the software spits out the incorrect data and it's more or less useless. And they're paying for a lot of these third-party sort of services as well. Something that I really push forward that we will be doing is basically having the ability to push a button come tax time and bzz, out comes your tax report, take it through account, and you're done. So yeah, that's all. Hopefully, I'm probably going to get shit after this. I can see Richard looking at me going,
I don't see a reason why we can't do that. You know, like we've got
the data there.
We've got all the data there, and if you want to say, hey, we know what the entry was, what the take profit was, we know how much you lost overall or made. We've got the trading, like if you're trading Bitcoin a whole lot, and then we know what the price of Bitcoin was back on all those days for the past 12 months. I don't see a reason why we wouldn't be able to do that. Yeah, I'm excited for that one. Like, I mean, hey, I'm a trader. I want that feature too. So whoosh, let's go, boys.
Just looking at a few of the replies there. VEMA team is biggest selling point for me right there. Huge selling point. That's massive. You really, I think that's a scribble that on the roadmap, Richard.
On the right, top of the roadmap. Right.
Yes, that is a yes, Sean. It will be there. When we've got a lot to do.
I can't promise you before July at the moment. Sorry, mate. Really wish I could.
Yeah. Raphael mentioned, was there a waitlist already for this a month or two ago? Memory eludes me. Yes, there was a waitlist. It's been around for quite some time. Just to note, the website unfortunately went down again. But I'll be posting on our socials. Look, give it a day and you can go on there and go onto the waitlist. I'll send out an email blast as well tomorrow sometime. What other questions today? Satoshi said, is it web-based Chrome extension or standalone app? It's web-based for now, and probably will be for a while, and then we can build in those other features potentially down the line. Apologies for maybe not saying your name right, Kill. Will there be an alert area to set up that you guys are seeing that we might want to look at or get it on? I'm just going to take that as alerting in general, maybe. Rich, do you want to talk about it? How VEMA Trader alerts you?
So I don't think he's actually referring to alerts there. I think that might be a question is referring to like, hey, I've done an analysis and the analysis can show me that, like Rhys there was showing in his demo that he's just not very good at Bitcoin trading. He's just really good at all the alts, shorting the alts. So, and from that perspective is how I think the question was, and I'll answer it from that one there, which is, we do have very, very exciting plans for that one because we can do those analysis cards for you and we can see what you're tagging against. So in Rhys's case there, we'd be able to go, hey, Rhys, you're about to do a long on Bitcoin and you're going to do the crosser strategy. Mate, are you sure you want to do that? Here we can spit out for you. Here is the last 10 trades you've done where you've tried to do that. And you've only won 6 of them and your expected P&L out of this is really small. Like you can override me if you want, but are you sure you want to go that? You know, we'll get the ninja to pull out his sword and be like, oi, what you doing?
Awesome. Chloe said, can we pay both the full amount and the monthly payments with crypto? Unfortunately, not yet. The only payment method we're accepting at this stage is credit or debit cards.
Yeah, it's
using
worth
Stripe.
expanding on that one. It's
Yeah.
that we absolutely do want to do that. We've been talking amongst
Definitely.
ourselves of how absolutely we're fans of it as well. It's more the how do we handle the accounting on that one? That's the difficult part there. And so the intention is to do that later in future. But for now, we're not going to have that at launch. Sorry.
Once we've got our tax software, so we can use it on our own account, we'll be sweet. Then we might launch crypto payments.
Rhys, can
Yep.
we integrate our own TV TradingView subscription into VEMA? That was from
No,
Craig.
so-
Thanks for the question.
Craig, currently you can't. There is a suggestion in the able to sort of make your own templates and a few different things like that. But there's no way to integrate your TradingView at the moment. So, like Donny said, and I'd love to get to the point that we don't need TradingView. But you're not going to need a TradingView subscription outside of VEMA. And so, yeah, at the moment you can't integrate it, and I'm not sure if we'll have plans to do that in the future. I think we're aiming to just have all the features that you might want independently of TradingView.
Tell them about the backtesting feature, mate.
What was that? The backtesting?
Yeah,
I've seen a few questions about like backtesting or demo trading. So we have demo trading. We have backtesting. We've built the capability. It used to be in there. We removed it. Rich, you'll be able to talk about why, because I can't remember the exact reason that it's not currently working. But yeah, we have a really, really cool backtesting capability. And I think that is one of the best features because it sort of ties in with the Analyse screen. You can do a lot with our backtesting, and when you combine it with the analysis, you can really sort of spit out some data. And again, it saves you a lot of mucking around with spreadsheets. So something that I think is really, really cool.
Yeah, so Rhys was saying that we did have it and we took it out. Hang on, what happened there? So originally it was built, the whole thing was built as a proof of concept using some pretty dodgy code. When Mike and Della both joined on, one of their conditions were, we're going to rewrite your code, Richard. So that's the backtesting feature was in there as that. And now when we're redoing the code properly, much more scalable, much more extensible, much more secure, awesome. We have to rebuild that from scratch. But the good news is when rebuilding it from scratch, it's going to be a million times better. Like not just, it was one trade before, you could simulate one trade. What we've got in store, we've got the UI for, is the ability to say, pick me like Bitcoin from March 2020, put me on the 4-hour candles, and let me just go through candle by candle. Let me put up a chart at oh, there we go. I've got a descending wedge. Let's put what I'm going to do on that one, do the trade, let it play out. Cool, add that one to the log of trades in this particular practice session, and then just go through continuously adding all the tags, doing full setups on it. And then at the end of it, once you've gone through maybe a year or 6 months worth of candle data, be able to spit back to you and say, and here is how you did in today's trading performance. You got this many wins, this many losses. Supposing you started with an account of this much, you would now have an account of this much, or not good. Here's your breakdown of your tags, doing the full analysis over it. So when we get that, it's going to be a super sexy feature that I'm going to play with a lot myself.
Love a good backtesting feature. Kez, you mentioned, does the roadmap include stocks and Forex? Yes, it does. And what exchanges would that be using? Which ones would we tackle first? Pass that over to Donny.
Yeah, cool. So we definitely, this was one thing that I really loved that everyone agreed with, was we're creating a trading tool that is all in one, right? We saw Richard's original sort of vision for the product was to build an all-in-one sort of trading solution. And one thing that is a pain point for me is having to log into South Wealth or Superhero or Stake or whatever other brokerage you're using, Oanda for Forex and stuff like that. So that was a big thing for me. I wanted the ability to be able to trade stocks, Forex, and crypto from VEMA. Everyone agreed, and we're definitely doing that. I can drop a little bit of info. I can't talk too much about names, but just to let you know, we've been approached by a lot of people. I've been networking in the industry for a while, and have a fair few connections with different exchanges and brokerages on a professional level. And we've showed a few people, and we're now getting emails saying, we want your product as a product offering. So we know we're on to something good, and we've got plans to integrate with a Forex broker when we have the time, which will allow us the ability to offer Forex pairs, commodity and indices, and also access to virtually every stock market in the world. The London Stock Exchange, Hong Kong, US, New York Stock Exchange, ASX, everything from this one brokerage. It is CFD, so it's not actually building a portfolio and having custody of your stocks. It's CFD trading, so it's trading stocks. That is sort of first on the card, so I can sort of mention that. But we definitely have all intentions to integrate Australian stockbroker. Well, I can say it, we're more or less moving towards South Wealth, which means we'll be able to offer ASX, and they also have a New York Stock Exchange and NASDAQ available on there. And that is probably going to be our first stock brokerage that we integrate where you can actually have custody. But we're not going to stop there, right? Like, part of my job is that sort of data research on all the different exchanges and brokerages around the globe, looking at things like volume, retail accounts, and things like that to find out where we should be focusing our energy on. And there's a lot in the pipe works. Like, there's probably a good 20 plus crypto exchanges in the line. There's probably a good 10 plus Forex brokerages, few stock exchanges. So there's going to be a lot. We want to cover all bases. No matter where you're trading, we should have you covered eventually. When we get around to that, yeah, it just depends on our workload.
So just on that, so Paul Mills said, are you able to use it on more than one PC? For example, could I trade crypto on one and Forex on another PC? You could if you wanted to, but you wouldn't really need to, because you just need the one login. You'll be able to trade multiple exchanges. Like right now, I have FTX and BitMEX hooked up to my VEMA test account. So I can just trade both of them from VEMA. I don't have to log into either of them. It's already done. So when we do have sort of the CFD platforms and different things, you'll just be able to do it all from one VEMA account. So you can have your VEMA account on multiple PCs if you want to separate it yourself, but not really a need to. Yeah.
Great answers there, guys. That's right. You just basically log in once and you can use it on any device, any house, and you can trade anything. Whispers mentioned, are you reading fees charged per trade on candlestick data back to your database? Maybe Della.
Let's get Mike on here. Mike.
Rhys will have to unmute him.
Someone's going to have to unmute him. There you go.
Can you hear him sit in the corner and keep on developing?
Short answer is candle data we retain ourselves. So we actually grab all that from the exchanges and store it, which is what we'll do back testing on at some point when that's re-enabled. Fees, not at this point, but it's something we can grab and we'll probably need when we get to that tax feature in our roadmap. So yeah, we do store a lot of information that we need to execute VEMA. That's why it's so quick to load and all that kind of stuff. It's quicker than FTX to load in some cases, which is kind of weird, but that's just the way it works. So yeah, short answer is yes, not everything, but there's more that we can grab if we feel that we need it. So yeah.
Great question. Great answer, sorry. Rohan, could I ask what language you used to code this? Do you want to answer that, Rich?
Yeah, if there's anything wrong with hiding the tech on there. So it's written with a C# .NET backend and a React front end.
Yeah. So they're quite the latest tech in
and we host
in the industry.
everything on AWS because it's freaking amazing.
Yeah.
For anyone who doesn't understand that, that's 90% of our meetings. Those guys, that's stuff, and I sit there going, oh yeah, cool.
Good question from David Lee. Will there be a feature like on TradingView where people can share what setups they're looking at as well, or could share, or I can share looking for feedback? It's a great question. Rhys, do you want to answer it?
What was that one? Sorry, I was reading one of the
no problem. So David Lee said, will there be a feature like on TradingView where people can share what setups they are looking at as well, or I could share my trade looking for feedback?
Absolutely. So I think we might have covered this one a little bit before, but yeah, we definitely have it in the plan. It's not in place just yet, but that I would literally be able to take one of my setups that I've made and go, right, I really like this. I'm going to share this. You guys will be able to click on it, see exactly what I've set up, my risk to reward. You'll see the whole kit and caboodle. So absolutely. And it won't just be for me. Anyone will be able to do that with their trade plans. One of the things that I think is really cool is, you know, you guys saw those Analyse cards that I was mucking around with before. You will be able to share those as well. So you'll be able to go, okay, I've got this strategy, share on Facebook. It's going to show you win rate. It's going to show your risk to reward. People are going to look at it and go, yeah, okay, that guy's making money using that strategy. So, you know, exchanges have those percentage gain screenshots, and they're cool for, you know, a little bit of bragging, but they don't really tell you a whole lot. It's pretty easy to fudge them. With the Analyse screen, you can really prove that you know what you're doing if that's something that you wanted to do.
Can I just jump in there for a sec as well, Rhys? That's something that we're really big on, is the transparency. The whole idea of those cards and sharing your charts and stuff like that. Richard came up with an idea a while ago about like building sort of the social side of sharing charts and stuff. But instead of, you go into TradingView, right, and people are sharing their analysis and this is going to happen and that's going to happen. And you got to sort of wonder, like, are these guys actually trading, or are they just drawing charts and they're chasing for followers to then sell you a course or something like that? Anyone who's been in the industry long enough, who is a trader, can smell bullshit a mile away. You can tell if someone is a trader or not. So I'm big on transparency as well. And I think this is where those verified, like the cards come into play, because you can actually verify who's doing what. It's all good. Like Rhys said, it's all good showing 1,000% return. It's like, yeah, what do you have, $5 on it? And it was 100x, and you know, who cares? What really matters is risk to reward and essentially the size of his account, what sort of money he's using, but also things like win rates and trade expectancy and things. That's where you actually see the performance of a real trader. And we're going to be able to verify results for these people. So you're actually going to be able to see who's who in the market, not who's flashing cool rewards around that doesn't really exist. So I love it.
Great feature. I can't wait for that one to be able to share. Everyone can share their wins and losses and their analyst cards and what type of strategies they're good at on their socials, which is going to be exciting. Sorry, Dia, I missed you previously with your question. With a function that can calculate the best fit, how will that work for those with a newer FTX account with a 2x leverage limit? So let me rephrase that question. With a function that can calculate the best leverage for the trade, how will it work for those with a newer FTX account with a 2x leverage limit? That probably go to Della.
Oh yeah, I was going to say, yeah, I've signed up to FTX recently. I've only got 2x. I mean, I guess VEMA. Well, actually, it's funny because FTX, you don't choose your leverage, right? FTX cross leverages your account. So what VEMA does will choose your position size based on your stop loss. So that if you hit your stop loss, you'll be restricted to your intended risk amount. So actually, FTX takes care of your leverage for you. So what that means is if you got $10 in your account, you want to buy $20 of position, or $20 worth of contracts, FTX will automatically leverage your account to 2x. For those people who got an early 20x or before that, I don't know, what was it, Donny, 100x before that?
Yeah, one of my accounts was still on 100x, the other one's on 20x. But yeah, like Della said, it's not that relevant. A lot of people got very, very used to high leverage. But yeah, the way cross leverage works is not the same as isolated. So it's not that relevant at all. 2x is fine. The only downside is if you're using really super tight stop losses, you're probably not going to be able to enter many trades. You'll have no problem entering a trade, but you probably won't be able to enter many because you'll probably tie up most of your margin just to enter it. So yeah, but anyone trading reasonable size stop losses shouldn't really have any issues with position sizing. obviously more leverage is better.
Thanks, gents. Rich, question from Sync Dow, Roscoe. Any decks in the pipelines?
Decks in the pipelines. Let's see. Not really that I can. I mean, sorry, that's a bad answer there. Exchanges that we will integrate with, yes, absolutely at some point. But like the next ones, I believe, probably going to be Binance and OKX, and then heading over to a something like markets.com or something else that can get us into more stocks and forex there, or KuCoin. Then after that, so like let's from a more a longer term perspective, one of the things I'd really love to be able to do is get some subscriptions in here, get some more cash flow in the bank, and then be able to go, all right, I'm going to go hire a developer whose job is purely to just be an exchange integrator, and then go, great, this point, what are you going to do this week? I'm going to smash out Binance. Oh, I'm going to get through KuCoin, then I'm going to get through OKX. Great, we've got the main ones we wanted in place. Now let's start getting into some of those other ones out there that we can get into. So some DeFi stuff in the future, I would absolutely say yes, that would be on the radar. Just need to get the cash flow to be able to pull it off, mate.
Thanks, Rich. Paul Mills mentioned, can custom scripts be imported? Della, you want to touch on that one?
Custom scripts. I'm assuming they mean Pine scripts for TradingView.
Yeah, custom indicators.
Yeah, well, Donny, you might know more than me, but with the TradingView provide an SDK, which is not their full-fledged TradingView chart you see on TradingView, unfortunately. It does a lot, if not most of the functionality, but I haven't actually tried, but I'm not aware that you can input Pine scripts into it. Do you know, Donny? Have you tried?
With the current SDK, there is no ability to get all the custom indicators or even like ones that are already, sorry, I shouldn't say that. That's not correct. You can use all the default style indicators that you'd normally get on TradingView, but you can't go and search for all the custom ones that other people have built, and you can't put your own custom ones in. However, something I've learned with these lads, when we make a suggestion, can we do this? They can generally pull it off. It's just a matter of how long it takes and how much dev resources we apply to it. It's something that we've definitely talked about before, is having the ability to upload custom indicators. It's definitely something we're going to at least research and see if we can pull it off. But yeah, currently there's no button you can press to upload your current custom indicators and things like that, unfortunately.
I can think of how we can pull it off, because we can send the data to the chart. But would it be using the Pine? Like if you've got your own custom Pine one, probably not. We'd have to rewrite it so it sends data from our back end.
There's still a really good list of indicators there. So I just saw Raphael mention like RSI, MACD, volume, I'm assuming, blah, 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 all the common ones. There's actually a fairly big list of default indicators. There's plenty there to choose from. It's more so the custom ones with the flashy colors and signals and all that sort of stuff that you can't get access to currently.
Plus, as we grow and grow and grow and get a bigger user base, that would then give us more sway to go over to TradingView and say, hey, can you please, we need this feature here. This is going to stop us from going further on your thing. It gives us more sway to get them to put what we would like into the SDK.
Awesome. So coming soon in a period of time. We've got a lot in the backlog, but like Donny mentioned, the guys, anything you ask them, they can achieve. Great question from Ian. Can you trade with sub accounts from the exchange? Conscious of time, real quick, Mike, can we?
If you're talking about FTX, yes. And we encourage the usage of sub accounts specifically with VEMA. You can use your main account with FTX, and they'll be treated as separate accounts. So you can completely isolate VEMA away from your main account, where you might hold all of your funds, and you can put a portion of that over into a sub account, hook it up to VEMA and trade solely on that sub account, and VEMA will treat it as a standalone account. Yeah, hopefully that answers that question.
Sweet. Great answer. Look, I think there's a lot of questions still. Pretty much we've covered them all. maybe the last one will do. And I'm so sorry if we haven't missed any. I'm like losing half of them as I go through this chat. But Joshua says, is there an intent to integrate advanced data such as order flow and volume analysis? Rich, do you want to answer that one?
I don't quite understand that question. Try that again.
Joshua Bozevan said, is there an intent to integrate advanced data such as order flow and volume analysis?
Oh yeah, absolutely, man. That'll come under the quant trading stuff. Yeah, if we can get access to the data, we'd love to be able to make it put conditions over the top of anything so that you could enter it. Absolutely, man. Just a matter of if we get access to that particular type of data. Like the exchanges only make certain stuff available on their API. And so if we can get access to the stuff on their API, they have that, then absolutely, man, we would absolutely love to look at getting that into the charts or getting into the trade plans for you.
Awesome. Jamie said, will Donny pay for an ad space during the 2022 Super Bowl to advertise VEMA?
Yes,
Look,
yes, Bill, we've already talked about that.
That's the #1 marketing activity.
I don't know how rich you think I am, but I don't have a spare, like, what's it, probably about 10 mil or something to have an ad on this during the Super Bowl.
I don't know Beyonce. I hope you know Beyonce, man.
Geez.
Greg, you mentioned when will we need to pay? Great question. So once we launch in February, you'll be able to obviously go and sign up to VEMA Trader and start using it. And when you sign up for a plan, whether it's the monthly or the yearly, you'll be requested to pay at that point. And do keep in mind, if you do get in that waitlist, that is discounted to $85 a month and $850 yearly. So 2 months free.
Or you want access now, man, go onto the Facebook and tell us why you want to be in the beta.
Yeah.
I'll address something here. So Alberto just asked, what can they do to help us? Guys,
Yeah.
we just need the word out. We need to let as many people know as we can what we're building here. So yeah, like, share our posts, tell people about it, all that sort of stuff. That's the support we need right now. That's all we ask for.
That and suggestions, right? We really want to be user driven, right? We, like, don't get me wrong, Donny and I have come up with a million ideas and put Dale and Mike through hell implementing them. And we think it's pretty cool, but you know, there's going to be a lot of you guys that are like, I want this feature, I want this feature. You're going to have some really cool ideas of your own. So we really, really do want to get user feedback. And you know, even if you're not using it and you've got a cool idea, let us know. Definitely.
They're because we're getting close to release. We had our last strategy session with us all together, and we said what is officially going to be in V1, and there was a lot of back and forth there with everyone kind of saying this needs to be in there, and us saying yeah, but that's going to delay release. Yeah, but we need it.
So true. And Rich, do we have any spare hoodies?
We don't have any spare hoodies. Sorry, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I got about 10 shirts left. 10 shirts from large to 3XL.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, Daniel Waring said, where can I get a hoodie from? So we need to send us a message on our socials, Daniel, and we can give you a shirt. Unfortunately, we don't have a hoodie.
When are we setting up our merch store?
when the bottle
we're going to be selling merch before we're selling subscriptions. Richard, I just sent you a message.
No, I saw that, man. Please go ahead.
Yeah. Okay. So there was 2 questions I wanted to address. One, I think, was just a bit of a joke, which was when VEMA coin. That's not going to happen. we're definitely not going down that route. But someone did ask about NFTs. We have got some promo ideas leading up to our launch, and that is one of the things on our roadmap for launch. So yeah, we will be creating some NFTs, which will come with some cool little benefits. And yeah, we'll be doing some competitions to hand them out to some beta testers and also to the public based on some competitions. That's about all I can say on it because it is still early days, but the short answer is yes, there will be some VEMA NFTs. It's very exciting. It's not for a sales perspective. It's more a case of utility. Like the NFTs will be a cool little gift that will get you some cool benefits. That's kind of how it works.
No, Wheatley says no apes. No, man, ninjas.
They are ninjas.
Boring ninjas. um, Gio, you mentioned if I'm already on the wait list, does it count? It sure does. Just get your name on the wait list, and when we launch, we'll send you out a link, and you just click on that link, and you'll get that discount applied. Josh Barnes said, would VEMA be doing a seed funding round? Rich, you want to answer that one? Well, we've got to be transparent.
I look, man. All right, we're being transparent. I'll be honest about things in there. So, Summer was trying to push me for it for a while, and I've been kind of saying no for a long time. But now I've come around to it. You know, the idea of actually getting some funding on to like, we've got big plans here. We've got a team who's been able to get it to this point, and they're all amazing. Absolutely every single one of them is just fantastic to work with and super talented. But to be able to scale faster, to be able to put more of these features in, to get more exchanges, you know, if we were going to get external funding, that would be what it would be for. And if you're serious about that and you've got a bit of cash, man, I think we might be actually open to talking about that at some point. Hey, wink.
Awesome. I think this is for people that don't know Rich. He's also got another name. He's called Big Data Dick, because he worked as a data engineer in many companies. And I think this question is specifically for a data person. Is there any way of complying all data from those who are happy into a database that shows most winning strategies, losses, essentially a group data collection?
Sorry, try that one again.
Yeah, so Brady mentioned, is there any way of compiling all data from those who are happy into a database that shows most winning strategies and losses?
Oh, right. Yeah, like just
a group data collection.
Aggregation over everybody. Yeah. Okay, cool. That's an interesting one there. That's an interesting one. And there, so yes, we would have the ability to do that. This is a bit of a gray area though, because it's your trading data. It's not our trading data. And so I'd love to be able to like put later on down the future and opt in for this feature. So, hey, Rhys is very private, doesn't want his stuff to be publicly available, doesn't want to share stuff. That's cool. Go for it, man. That's wonderful. If you don't want to be included in this, then that's perfectly fine. It would be an opt-in thing to say, I would like to be involved in this. And then I imagine after we've done that, we would be publishing the results of that on our blog post to be able to say, look, most people are using this risk to reward, and they're the most successful ones. Hey, I don't mean the losers or the people who are not winning. They tend to be doing this, and that's not working out very well for them. But if we were to go down that path, I would, like, as a data analyst, man, I'd fucking love to do that. Hey, I just swore, damn it. It would be an opt-in thing, and it would be completely anonymized. Yeah, you know, if you're a database person there, we'd have views over the top of it to make sure it wouldn't get out and stuff like that. And yeah, anyway, I'd love to have fun with that one. Short answer, yes, with a but.
I think at one stage we even talked about having specific groups and being able to see how different teams were sort of going and stuff like that. It was something that we played around with on an idea stage.
Yeah, so on the beta testing data, on the beta testing data, I was mucking around with it early. And it was really cool. And, you know, one of the ideas we had was like, we might be able to see, okay, people that fill out their journal tend to have a positive expected value, right? The people that are actually taking time to fill out their journal are making money, and most of our losing traders aren't filling out their journal. So then we can just put out a thing saying, hey guys, you know, are you filling out your journal? Because most of our winning traders do, most of our losing traders don't. We might have had the ninja pop up, you know, if you try to save a trade plan without filling out a journal, just saying, hey, you're sure? Because most of our winning traders fill out their journal. So I think it's a really, really cool idea. But like Rich said, there are other privacy concerns, but something that we can definitely look into.
I think it's worth exploring more what Donny was just talking about there as well, which was we did have this idea in there about trading groups. It's like, hey, let's make a VEMA trader trading groups with the VEMA trader people, and we'd be invited. We would explicitly say we want to be in there, and then we'd opt in to sharing our data with that group. And then that group would be able to analyze how their data, who is the best performer, who is not doing well, spit out what the best people are doing, what they're not doing. So they have their own mentoring, trading education type thing. That'd be a down the line thing. And we'd love them to be able to like work together to be able to improve themselves and share and aggregate their data just among themselves. there's a lot of fun things we can do with that, like as well. Oh man, the trading competitions, we'd love to be able to pull off and things. Yeah,
some huge stuff there.
Yeah, I would love to be doing like a monthly trading competition. Do you want a paper trade or be live trading on it? That's cool. Pick which trades you want in before you do the trade, so you can't do, oh look, only my good ones are in here. I'm so good at this trading thing when I've really got 50 losses. But to be able to put in there, if you do you want this trade in the competition? Yes, cool. Let's pick the best performers on there.
Totally agree. Dave Lee dropped a really good comment and great idea there, mate. The idea of having an update on different market conditions, like it's a bear market, these strategies are working. It's a bull market, these strategies are working, which is quite a cool idea.
Definitely keen on the idea of giving tips and stuff like that. Not tips as in like, hey, this trade looks hot. More a case of like result wise, like 50% of traders do this wrong or something like that. We want to be able to give some pretty anonymous stats like that. They're just little handy tips that make you go, yeah, maybe I won't do that.
Yeah, absolutely. Sean Mack asks, it would be awesome to have a month-to-month live calls for strategy analysis, competitions, game teams, etc. Fun stuff. I think that'd be really, really cool to do. But on a side note for that one, speaking on behalf of Mr. Rhys here, what he'll be doing pretty soon is going to be doing a weekly mini. Here's what Rhys is looking at for the week. Here's how it performed afterwards.
Yeah.
I dropped my first VEMA trade set up on YouTube today. It's in the bullpen, and we can share it anywhere else that people are going to want it. I think on VEMA's YouTube, it features my channel, so it should be there too.
Yep.
Yeah. Give us a follow on YouTube as well.
I love you, Rhys.
And on LinkedIn. And then the last piece of info, we haven't mentioned where VEMA will be accessible from. At the launch of VEMA, it would only be accessible in Australia and New Zealand. So apologies for those international people on the call, but we will quickly make that available across the world. We'll wrap it up here. Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure. From a lot of blood and sweat and tears have come from everyone here in the VEMA Trader team, and a big thanks to everyone to join the call. Please, if you haven't already, join the waitlist. If you haven't been able to, please put a reminder in your phone. Alberto, if you're there, put a reminder in your phone right now to do it tomorrow. And don't forget to sign up to our waitlist, follow us on our socials. And if you want to be a beta tester, go ahead. Rich, do you want to sign off?
Boom, I'd love to. Thank you so much, everyone, for coming. This is our... said it before, I've been working on this thing for years, put a team together to build this thing. This is our first major big public appearance like this. I've been nervous as heck for the past 2 weeks since Donny and I got on a call and said, let's do this call. And seeing the feedback everyone's been getting on here, it's been absolutely incredible. Thank you so much for all your support, for coming along here. Yeah, we're really, really, really excited getting this in your hands. We want to know what more features you want and how we can make this even better for you. Please get in touch. We'd love to hear from you. Yeah, thank you so much, everybody. I'm going to stop saying thank you, and have a lovely night, everyone. Thank you very much.
Bye, guys.
Cheers,
See
guys.
you later.
Bye.
So call me and we can do the same shit